each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Where there's a will, there's a way. I love that song. Morning, Jill. Let's think about you earlier. I hope your appointment went good. And Corey says hi. Good to see you. Speaking of which, if you are here, whether it's for the live or the rewatch, please let me know that you're here. Say hello. Of course, if you've got a topic, let me know. We'll see what we can do about getting it on, do some talking about it, see what we can do for you. Gary, good to see you, bro. Hope you're doing good. It was good to see you at the meeting yesterday. We all enjoyed having you. Corey, yeah, long time no see. About 16 minutes. So Corey and I just got done with a podcast. We had a lot of fun. So, all right. Doing some background things. I want to bring the blue one back. I don't know how many of you actually know about this background, but it was my original background. A lot of people liked it. I think I have a light. Yeah, there's a light on in the very back that shouldn't be on right there. So, but I like it, the blue, but I need to go down a little bit more. So, well, let's get started today. We're going to be talking on the spiritual growth portion before we get to the surrendering self-will, which is a little backwards, but that's okay. We learn in the program in its 12 steps that as we grow spiritually, we find that our old attitudes towards instinctual drives need to undergo drastic revisions. So in other words, we need to change our behavior, right? I don't know why driving in the car came up in my head, but I think like now, I'm not saying I don't get a little upset when I'm driving, but gosh, it doesn't control me like it used to. Now, so it cuts me out. I don't fucking care. I don't need that anger in my life. And I'm certainly not going to let somebody else control my emotional sobriety, especially when I don't even know what the fuck they look like. Come on. Our demands for emotional security and wealth, for personal prestige and power, we have all been tempered and redirected. We learn that the full satisfaction of these demands cannot be the sole end and aim of our lives. But when we are willing to place spiritual growth first, then and only then do we have a real chance to grow in healthy awareness and mature love. Am I willing to place spiritual growth first? This is why I read it first. Right? Is because how are we going to get into surrendering self-will if we're not committed to our emotional sobriety yet? So that's why I read it first. May my development as a spiritual person temper be habitual hankerings for material security. May I understand that the only real security in life is spiritual. If I have faith in my higher power, these revisions in my attitudes will follow. May I grow first in spiritual awareness. Today, I will remember, value the life of the spirit. Okay? See, when you take care of your spirituality, everything else tends to fall into place. Why? Because you're doing God's will and not your own. That's why. Because you're getting out of self. You're doing something you don't usually do, right? Or maybe you do. But helping other people and helping, and seeing happiness happen in their lives is the bright spot of what we do. So let's talk about surrendering self-will. Made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him. Pray only knowledge for his will for us. Carry that up. Page 34 in step 3. I'm going to go in a couple of pages So how exactly can the willing person continue to turn his will and his life over to a higher power? He made a beginning, we have seen, when he commenced to rely upon AA for the solution of his alcohol problem. By now, though, the chances are that he has become convinced that he has more problems than alcohol. Morning, Patricia. Good to see you. Than alcohol, and that some of these refuse to be solved by all the sheer personal determination and courage he can muster. Here's the thing. You don't have what you need in order to do it. Okay. So, growing up, bicycles were different when I was growing up. In order to have brakes, you had to push your pedal back, right? And if your chain fell off, you were screwed, especially if you were going down a hill. We were so safe. So anyway, my dad taught me how to fix my tire chain, right? My chain on my bike. Well, the next day, my tire blows out. Well, I can't utilize those same tools to fix my tire. I'm going to have to go back to my dad, say, hey, Dad, how do I do this? Okay. And it's for each one. Now, yeah, you may use a screwdriver for several different things, but one may require a wrench. Okay. But we're silly and we try and screw we try and screw those screws all the way in with our fingers. That's self-will, when we should get a tool to make our lives a little bit easier. They simply will not budge. They make him desperately unhappy and threaten his newfound sobriety. Our friend is still victimized by remorse and guilt when he thinks of yesterday. Bitterness still overpowers him when he broods upon those he envies or hates. His financial security worries him sick, and panic takes over whenever he thinks of all the bridges of safety that alcohol burned behind him. And how shall he ever straighten out that awful jam that cost him the affection of his family and separated him from them? His lone courage and unaided will cannot do it. Surely he must now depend on somebody or something else. Okay? This is no longer a me program. We're going to take that M, we're going to turn it upside down. We're going to make it a we program. Okay? As alcoholics, we kind of want to do this on ourselves. Oh, I don't need it. Anytime I said I don't need anybody or that I don't need that, was probably when I was feeling the loneliest. Right? Oh no, I don't need your help. Give me a hug. I'm a man. Fuck. I tell you right now, 90% of those times I needed a hug. I just didn't want to admit it. Because I was afraid of what people would think of me. At first, that somebody is likely to be as close as a friend. Okay. He relies upon the assurance that his many troubles, now made more acute because he cannot use alcohol to kill the pain, can be solved too. Of course, the sponsor points out that our friend's life is still unmanageable even though he is sober, that after all, only a bare start on AA's program has been made. All right, I'm going to do the drunk horse thief real quick for the example. So if you have a drunk horse thief and you take away the alcohol, what you have is a sober horse thief. Okay? He is still an asshole. He's still doing everything else. He's still trying to control the whole show. Okay? So once we get rid of, alcohol is a symptom of the disease, of the whole disease. That's just a symptom, right? So when you have a cold, do you just take care of your sore throat? Do you just make sure that you're unclogged? Or do you take something that has everything in it that isn't NyQuil, right? At least any nighttime shit, right, with alcohol in it. But no, you're going to use something that's going to get all of them. Am I correct? All right. Well, here's the problem. You got rid of the alcohol. You still got a lot of, the rest of it is attitude and your thought on life and how you're doing things. Okay. How you're acting with other people. How are you treating other people around you? Are you being an asshole, or are you doing it with a servant's heart? More sobriety brought about by the admission of alcoholism by the attendance at a few meetings is very good indeed, but it is bound to be far cry from a permanent sobriety and contented, useful life. Okay, you guys know where this is going? That is just where the remaining steps of AA program come in. Nothing short of a continuous action upon these as a way of life can bring the much desired result. Okay. So what are steps 1, 2, and 3 about? They are to set you up for a successful 4th step. Hi, Jesus. Welcome. Good to see you. And I don't know if that's a smiling face, but welcome, man. Oh, Jesus is coming from YouTube. Holy crap. Good. Finally. Jesus, you're my first person from YouTube. Thank you. Thank you. I don't even know him yet, and I love you. Cool. That made me excited, man, because earlier I'm like, I need to start working on my YouTube stuff because there's several people that have actually been, and I suck at YouTube. If you guys are going to help me get the word out. Yeah. Are you bullying people? No bullying. Not around me. Okay. Then it is explained that other steps in the AA program can be practiced with success only when step 3 is given a determined and persistent trial. Okay? I mean, you're going to try it more than once. You know, you get the free trial, the 7-day free trial. Think of it that way. Okay, you got 7 days to try out this step, and then we're going to move on. Okay? This statement may surprise newcomers who have experienced nothing but constant deflation and growing conviction that human will is of no value whatever. Okay, if you are feeling that way, go talk to your sponsor and get some hope. I always leave my sponsees with some hope, man. Always. Whenever I leave anything, do anything. Thank you, Jesus. I appreciate that. What a great day, man. But now appears there are certain things which only the individual can do, all by himself, and in the light of his own circumstances, he needs to develop a quality of willingness. When he acquires willingness, he is the only one who can make the decision to exert himself. Trying to do this is an act of his own will. All of the 12 steps require sustained and personal exertion to conform to their principles, and so we trust in God's will. And I want to read, and I want to, what? It's Jill's belly button birthday. Obviously, I haven't been on Facebook enough today. Yay, Jill, happy birthday, honey. It is when we try to make our will conform with God's that we begin to use it rightly. To all of us, this was a most wonderful revelation. It is called a spiritual experience. That's what that is, guys. We have more than one spiritual experience. People tend to talk like there's one. Now hundreds of them, man. I won today. Just had one a few seconds ago. You know, take those in. Be grateful for that stuff. It's what's going to fill that hole. Our whole trouble had been misuse of willpower. We had tried to bombard our problems with it instead of attempting to bring it into agreement with God's intention. Okay? So we were fighting everybody and everything. And we had to stop. To make this increasingly possible is the purpose of AA's 12 step. Step 3 opens the door. Okay? And all you need is willingness. And what's also cool is step 3 requires no action. Steps 1, 2, and 3 require no action. Hey, Jill, look what I got. Ha ha ha. Jill and I have book stuff going on. We're getting actually ready to do a class on this. That's why that'd be really cool. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up. I'm so excited for everybody. No matter how much one wishes to try, exactly how can one turn his will in a life over the care of God, of whatever God he thinks there is? In my search for the answer to this question, I became aware of the wisdom with which it was written, that this is a two-part step. I could see many things where I should have died or at least been injured during my previous style of living, and it never happened. Someone or something was looking after me. I choose to believe my life has always been in God's care. He alone controls the number of days I will be granted until physical death. I have even tried to go take care of it myself, and God still would not. He wouldn't let me. I moved to California at one point to drink myself to death. That was the whole point. Okay? I don't want to live no more. I don't want to live this life anymore. I was so tired of hurting my kids and my family and everybody around me. It was killing me, and I couldn't stop myself. But God had other plans, man. The matter of will, self-will, or God's will is the more difficult part of the difficult part of the step for me. It is only when I have experienced enough emotional pain through failed attempts to fix myself that I become willing to surrender to God's will for my life. Surrender like the calm after the storm. When my will is in line with God's will for me, there is peace within. Okay? But you only have to do that once. Okay? Good. From this point on, it is only after I experience enough emotional pain. You, now that you're here, get to decide that level of emotional pain. Do not wait until it gets bad to do something about it. You now have the tool of willingness, and you can use it whenever you want. So don't utilize willingness as a reason to fix things. Use willingness as a reason to set yourself up to succeed. I got to go get ready for the noon meeting. Yeah, Jesus, we have a noon meeting. You can find me on Facebook. I'm gonna throw. Sorry, guys. I want to throw the phone number in here. I don't think I have it on me. Jill, do you have it on you by chance? All right. Yeah, Jesus, find me on Facebook, Dion Nor, and I'll get that to you. If not, come back tomorrow and I will have it to you. I apologize, I don't have it in front of me. Bad podcaster. Love you guys. Peace out and have a day.